Well, two schools here in New York State are making national headlines, Cornell Law School and Adelphi University. Both of those schools have something to do with discrimination. Adelphi, for instance, doesn't want you to discriminate against sex offenders. And in the case of Cornell Law School, there's a professor there who is suing, alleging discrimination against whites. Here to help us break those and some other stories down is Conor Coutts. He is the Outreach and Promotions Manager for the College Fix, which covers national higher education news. Conor, thanks so much for joining me so early in the morning.
Yes, my pleasure to be with you, Frank.
Let's talk about what is happening at Adelphi. All right, Adelphi is a private university, and they're urging non-discrimination against racial minorities. Okay, that's pretty standard. We hear about that all the time. They're urging non-discrimination against people with disabilities. All right, makes sense. Non-discrimination against sex. Okay. Non-discrimination against ethnicity. All right, makes sense. Immigration status. All right, we've heard that before. They're also urging non-discrimination against sexual offender status. Now, that is something I've never heard. Any sort of guidance to avoid discriminating against sex offenders. What exactly what's going on here at Adelphi?
Yes, it's definitely a pretty strange thing. So we obtained a poster from Adelphi, located in Garden City, and it said, just as you said, it has a poster. It said, "I will not discriminate." So kind of this urging, this call to action against someone based on sex, race, disability, or religion, and sexual offender status. And that really stands out. So, that's kind of would obviously be troubling to many people. So we immediately asked 4 different offices, what is exactly meant by sexual offender? Obviously, legally, there are different levels of that, but none of them replied. We also asked a couple of those, is there any kind of sex crime, sex offender status or something like that would preclude somebody for being accepted as a student, because obviously there are safety concerns. Because there were 2 instances recently, one in December of a student recording a male student recording a female student in a bathroom, who 5 days later was arrested and charged with both surveillance and stalking. And there was an arrest made April of this year following a report of sexual assault in the very same dorm. No details were given about this person by the police, Garden City Police. So, if you're a victim, if you're a student who's very concerned about this and you see, we're not discriminating on sex offender, and you're not defining what that means and to what extent, can be very troubling.